It started with one swipe. Then, it turned into the fastest growing app in the country. But the people who started it did not start it for the right reasons.
The company that owns the dating app Tinder goes public today, but all anyone is talking about is the CEO's sexual history. Dan CEO Sean Rad gave a very revealing interview yesterday. What did he divulge?
A lot.
They took advantage of the rise in smartphones and social media to design the killer app for this generation.
Silicon Valley, you've got to understand that there's a lot of the companies are started by boys. They're not men, they're boys, right? And one of the reasons for that is because they all go to the same schools together, Stanford or Harvard or whatever it is.
One app that will not only reinvent what it means to be in a relationship, but kill all desires for someone to want to be in a relationship.
I'm a 2.3 out of 5, which is awesome.
Am I addicted to Grindr? Yeah.
When you've had a bad date or someone's rejected you, you go straight back onto the gambling app.
In fact, they sort of create an atmosphere that psychotherapists would historically have regarded as slightly pathological.
You should call Tinder out for what it really is, a mobile game.
Is that it is shopping for humans. You're shopping for humans. You see a couple pictures of someone and you decide whether or not you want to buy that human.
Guys will have one girlfriend per network. Yep. I'll see a dude all over one girl's Instagram, a different girl all over Twitter, a different girl over Facebook, have a different bitch on Snapchat. Yes.
Welcome to Dating Gamified and how one company redefined what it means to be in a relationship. Love. Isn't it a beautiful feeling? That is up for you to decide, but one thing is sure, it is a very powerful feeling. If you are one of the lucky ones who experience it, you know what I'm talking about. You may understand why people spend their lives trying to get in a relationship. This ability to be understood by someone on a deep level, being able to share the same worldview with someone, make memories, and experience life in a completely different way. Isn't all of that beautiful? Once again, that is up to you to decide. It amplifies your emotions and changes your worldview. Pain, happiness, joy, sadness, everything feels heavier on your chest. It feels like a drug, and I think you can understand why people are chasing after it. It often leads to sex between two individuals and to one of the most fascinating things, the creation of life. Isn't that beautiful? Before the internet, most people chose to meet in person because there were not many choices. You met someone in your local community, maybe at school or in a bar, and then you tried to build a meaningful connection. You didn't have a million people to choose from, and maybe that was the wrong way of doing things. Why should we only be limited to people in our local community? What if you married the wrong person because you never met the right person? All of these were questions that made you ponder. But then, the internet came, and shortly after, the dating rat race started. The issue with being part of a rat race is that you often don't realize you are part of a rat race. You keep running the race, but you forget that there is no escape from the maze until you can free yourself from your desires. This is exactly what is happening with Tinder and the gamification of dating. For me, it feels like as a generation, we all fell deep into the rat race of dating apps. In Silicon Valley, you often see social media companies taking the blame for everything that's happening in the world. But what if I told you that there is another company which is making billions of dollars by taking advantage of one of our deepest desires, the desire for love and sex?
Well, we operate a portfolio of businesses, and what we saw in the second quarter was strength across our portfolio. So Tinder has been great for us. It's the global leader in dating. It had another great quarter, but we saw some of the brands that have been around for a while, like Match, OkCupid, Plenty of Fish, perform really well. We've got a newer brand in Hinge, which is a hot brand and is doing incredibly well. Some of our brands outside the US are doing really well. So it was really strength across the board 8 or 9 major brands that we have that all contributed. And that momentum from Q2 really is going to carry into Q3 for us. And we're optimistic it's going to carry beyond that.
That one company I'm referring to is Match Group. It's a monopoly that owns all the major dating apps and is redefining what it means to be in a relationship. It did it in a very simple way. They created a swipe mechanism which allowed users to see dating as a game.
I wrote the original application, the iPhone application, and I also came up with the swipe.
The swipe mechanic really was the mechanic that worked for a mobile generation who had short attention spans, was always on their 3.5-inch screens. And yeah, I think it worked.
We have 1.5 billion swipes a day. And I know a long time ago in the early days, I think I had figured out if the average swipe or something was, I don't know, like an inch or something. I can't remember how many times you could wrap around the earth with the number of swipes. And that was a long time ago. So we might be on our way to Mars now or something. I'm not sure.
By gamifying the process and giving us more options to choose from, they rigged the game for us. They put us in a race where we could never win because our brains are not that evolved to deal with this many potential partners.
We evolved in the context of small groups where, say, ranging from 50 to 150 individuals. In small group living with limited geographical mobility, you would have only encountered perhaps a few dozen potential mates in your entire lifetime. So what's weird is that we take this, small group mating psychology where the number of potential mates is very limited and transplant it to the modern world where we have thousands and thousands of potential mates that we can keep swiping through. And it triggers this short-term mating psychology in a way that never would have been triggered ancestrally.
One of the biggest paradoxes in life is that the more choices you have, the more chances you have to regret your decision.
The second effect is that even if we manage to overcome the paralysis and make a choice, we end up less satisfied with the result of the choice than we would be if we had fewer options to choose from. It's easy to imagine that you could have made a different choice that would have been better. And what happens is this imagined alternative induces you to regret the decision you made, and this regret subtracts from the satisfaction you get out of the decision you made, even if it was a good decision.
But it's not the fact that we have more choices that made me want to do this video. It's the addiction that came with those choices.
There have been reports of a rise in sexual violence related to online dating. Do you think dating apps are contributing to rape culture?
The sad thing is that, because there's so many millions and millions of people on our products, 1 out of every 2 single people have a profile on a dating app today in the United States, then it is truly what happens in society, happens on the apps as well.
The definition of ghosting is the practice of ending a personal relationship with someone suddenly and without any explanation, withdrawing from all communication and cutting ties.
So in the course of my Tinder messaging, I might have like 20 different text messages going on. In each one of those, you kind of keep following. It got to the point where I might have this one friends with benefits over here, and then I'll go on a date with that girl, and develop another friends with benefits with that girl, and then all of a sudden it became this girl's Monday, I'll switch that around and figuring out my schedule for all these different women.
Let me ask you a very real question. Do you feel addicted to dating apps? Are you part of the 1 in 10 users who swipe over 14 hours per week? I think it is important that you ask yourself, why are you using this for? There's an inherent conflict with the way dating apps were designed and the way people use it. If these apps only make money when you pay for them, why would they want you to find a partner and stop paying? Just like a kid in a candy store, they do everything to trap you. You have too many options and basically no chance of finding love. And that's all they wanted from the beginning.
You get a match on Tinder and your screen just pops. It's this huge visual stimulation. It's super bizarre. And that's gotta be intentional. It feels good.
Ooh,
Keeping you addicted has always been the primary goal, and I think that's a real problem because unlike other apps, dating apps are specifically acting on your sexual desires. For women, it serves as an attention machine. For men, it helps them get infinite sexual relationships. And I think if you're one of those using dating apps just for attention or just to get sex, then this video isn't really for you, and I'm sorry that this may not help you. But if you're one of those people who fell in the trap of dating apps, who are running the dating race and giving all the money to this corporation, then I'm here to break it to you. Unfortunately, infinite swipes on dating apps will never help you find love. But one thing is sure though, it will keep you broke and miserable trying to chase something that is not real. In an age where we are supposed to be more connected than ever, we are all facing a loneliness pandemic, and I think dating apps have a lot to do with it, because instead of focusing on making real connections with real people, we've been taught to seek shallow relationship and casual sex with online strangers. And unfortunately, until you make the choice for yourself, I think there is no end in sight. Welcome to the After Party Club. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you made it to this point, I appreciate you, I respect you, I like you. I wish you have the best 2021 ever. And thank you. My name is Ned Lott. Please subscribe to this channel. You can also find me on Instagram, Twitter, on Tinder and Hinge on some days. Just kidding. And yeah, I mean, thank you so much for watching it. You know, I think today's video was very important to me. It's something that, you know, I've gone through myself, something that my friends have gone through, where you find yourself kind of trapped in this thing where you're swiping every single day, man. It's like there's no end in sight. And you just wonder, like, what am I doing? Am I just like Mario in, like, you know, Super Mario, whatever, just running a race and with no end? You know, it made me question it. It made me do a research into it. And you know, what I'm trying to do with this channel is really to, like, understand what technology is doing to us. And I think that we live in such a great time in a way, because yes, technology is helping society in some ways, you know, but there are questions that I have, you know, and dating apps was one of those, where I have a friend who had like 6,000 matches on Tinder, and he would just meet up with random women every weekend, like 6 or 7 of them, and he wasn't happy. And I was talking to him and I was like, mate, what are you doing with your life? Like, this is not the way to live. And he was like, yeah, but like, you know, I enjoy it. Because yes, of course you enjoy it. It's sex. It's like, it's related to your brain. It's like one of the most primitive thing. And those companies, Match Group, Tinder, Hinge, and all that, Bumble, they really figure out, you know, how to like addict you and trick you. And I think that many people who use it feel that way, you know. I've had conversations with some people about it who use the app. They feel that way. So I wanted to really document it, do some research on it, and that's what I did here. So with that being said, I hope you take something away from it. I hope if you're on it, my advice to you, if you've been talking to someone, you know, like, try to get their number, get off the app, try to get them off the app if everything goes well, and then that's about it. That's the main goal. Always remember why you started. It's like, you want on it to find a partner. Now if you find someone, just get off of it. But I think people just fall into this trap of like swipe, and it goes nowhere. So with that being said, man, I think 2021 is going to be my year. I'm telling you that. Like, I'm going all in on those videos. If you're new here, Ned Lott, I make Black Mirror-like videos on technology, what technology is doing to society, and everything from Silicon Valley to innovation in China, and like what the future of AI and all those new innovation may do to us. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you, and peace.